I hope everybody is doing well. And today is Wealthy Wednesday. So welcome and joining us today. So I am your host, Tajiana, also known as Taji, and I am a QueenCare consultant as well as the academic coordinator for the Life Enrichment Group. So if you are just now tuning into Wealthy Wednesdays, just so that you can know a little bit about what Wealthy Wednesdays is all about. Wealthy Wednesdays is an online health initiative focused on learning and relearning how to properly care for ourselves. So we envision this time together to consist of sharing information that will feed our mind, body, and soul. It's important that we say yes to putting ourselves first, especially if you are someone who cares for others in your personal life and professional life. That is so important for us to learn how to operate on full at all times so we can be the most effective in what we do. Self-care is a function of self-love. So when we say we love ourselves, that way we prove it through our self-care. So today, we always have a topic of the day. We've been going through the 7 ways to promote personal wellness. So today we are on part 5 of 7 in dealing with ways to boost and promote personal wellness. And with everything that's going on in the world today, this is so very important. And tonight is all about investing in mental health. So today's topic is investing in mental health. Okay. So there are so many ways to stay connected with us. This show is one of them, but there are other ways you can stay connected with us too. So make sure that you like and comment and share this video. So like and comment, share this video. Remember, you can go back and watch all of our previously recorded episodes on IGTV, YouTube channel, or our Facebook page. And to do so, make sure you follow us on Instagram, QueenCare Products _1, like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then of course, last but not least, visit www.queencareproducts.com. Okay, so you definitely want to make sure you follow us and stay updated with all the different things. Like we just had a sale the other day, so you want to stay updated with what we have going on. All right. So because we're going to be talking a lot about mental health and different things like that, we just want to put a short disclaimer that the information that we are sharing today is based on our own research and experiences. So this is not professional medical advice. Okay. We just want to put that out there. But we definitely want to make sure we have a good discussion. We have a special guest joining me very shortly. So I will be introducing her in a second. But as we always do, guys, we always have a question of the day. Okay, a question of the day. So today's question of the day is, when you hear the words mental health, what things come to mind? Again, this is all about mental health, investing in mental health. So when you hear about mental health, what comes to mind? Put that down in the comments on what comes to mind to you when you hear the words mental health, okay? So when I hear the words mental health, I honestly just think, about, how to take care of your mind, how to take care of like your emotional state and how you're feeling at the moment. And also, I also do think about different mental health, like depression and anxiety and all those things. That definitely comes to mind as well. But most importantly, I think about, our health and like how we're feeling, our emotional health and things like that. So that's kind of what I think about when it comes to mental health. So in the comments, put down what you guys think about when it comes to mental health. And we are going to end up having our special guest join us in a second here. But I would love to hear what you all will be putting down for what comes to your mind when you think about mental health. Okay, that is the topic of the day, is investing in mental health. And the question of the day, if you're just now tuning in, is what comes to your mind when you think about mental health? All right. So so let's see. I see in the comments we got mental health is such an important topic. It definitely is a very, very important topic. So that's definitely why we wanted to make sure we focus on that today. So that's so important. So important. And we are going to have our special guest today. Her name is Alanah Dillard. She is a family and marriage therapist. So she's going to be coming to us, and we're going to be talking more about some of the stigmas that happen, some of the stigmas that come up when it comes to mental health. So that's kind of like what we're going to be talking about with her. And so we're just going to give a few moments to get her joining with us here. But in the meantime, make sure you're answering the question, what comes to your mind when you think of mental health? Like, what type of things come to your mind? What type of words come to your mind? What type of images come to your mind when you think about mental health? And you put that in the comments, and we're going to talk about all of that today. All of that today. Okay. Okay, I see Alanah in the comments. Alanah, we need you on here. Give me 1 second, you all. All righty. We're bringing in our special guest, Miss Alanah Dillard.
Hi, good evening. Sorry about that little technical difficulty. We're here.
That's okay. That's okay. You're here. We're so glad. I'm so glad that you're here. Everybody's ready. I let them know that today we're talking all about investing into our mental health, and they already know what the day is. What words do you think of, or what things come to your mind when you think of the words mental health? We're gonna get this conversation started, you all. We're talking about the 7 mental health stigmas. And so Alanah also will be giving you some tidbits. But before we get into all of that, Alanah, can you just give us an introduction of kind of like who you are and all of that?
Absolutely. Well, thank you first and foremost to QueenCare and to you, Taji, Executive Assistant for QueenCare Beauty. Monica, it's such a pleasure to be in friendship and to be in communion with you. Also, just giving honor and reverence to our ancestors and everyone really who came before us in this particular moment in this hour for the faith, our creator. It's very important to me that I acknowledge where I've come from so that we can continue to know where we're going. I don't believe that we can know where we're going if we don't know where we've come from. So thank you all for joining us and me tonight. So really how I got into mental health, I'll make it really quick and fast, to help people. That's the most stereotypical cliche, but the answer is true, to help people. An extension of that is to be a representation. Growing up, I think I needed probably some therapeutic support and intervention, and there was not people in my community, in my schools that look like me as a Black woman to be in mental health and to serve in this way outside of, yes, going to church and having your own tribe is important and necessary, but on a personal level, but definitely professional too. Just wanting to be a representation and change the narrative about what therapy can look like and what healing can be. And that started, gosh, when I was a kid. I think everyone kind of came to me and wanted my advice, and then ultimately it grew and developed into a profession and career.
I love it. I love it, Alanah. That's so awesome. And like you said, it's just so important. Mental health is so, so important. So I'm so glad that you took the time today to speak with us and kind of talk about the 7 stigmas. So we're going to get into it. So we have 7 different stigmas that tend to be thought of when you hear mental health. So you still put those in the comments, some of the things that you think about. But yeah, we're just going to give some of the stigmas that, you know, can kind of be a little bit hesitant, keep people hesitant from investing into mental health. So number one, a stigma that tends to be said, and we hear, and I'm sure you guys have heard it, is not telling strangers or outsiders your business. So sometimes, like, you know, people are saying that sometimes you like might need an outsider to give you a different perspective. But for some reason, you know, it's the stigma that not telling strangers or outsiders your business. So Alanah, did you have anything that you want to add to that or speak to that?
Yes, absolutely. What happens in here stays in here. That's a narrative and a statement I've heard all throughout my life, both professionally and personally. And so one of the most, I just want to call out that one of the most innate positions for a human to be in is the fetal position. You know, when we are in our mother's womb, whether you're adopted or a biological or step or whatever, the natural innate human posture is a fetal position, curling up inside our knees to our chest, our body curling inward. And that's a defensive mechanism to protect us from the outside world. In the back of us, we have our muscles, our shoulder blades and our spine. But in the front of us, we have all of our open organs, our hearts, our lungs, the most vital things to function. So kind of using that natural, innate, physiological, psychological response. We do that with our emotions too. When we're feeling under attack or we're feeling threatened or we have trauma or we're afraid or we become afraid, we tend to curl inward and we tend to like isolate. We tend to, not everyone, but we tend to do those things and keep outside people from seeing our real, true, intimate posture, which is why a lot of psychotherapy kind of hinges on deep breathing, grounding, mindfulness, yoga that allows ourselves to open up to receive and to, you know, kind of come out of the fetal position that is protective and secure, of course, and naturally safe, but also prevents us from being open to know what else is out in the world that we can heal and be restored by. So that's really like the basics of understanding why it's necessary to have a third party in any type of therapeutic setting to help you process through some of the things that you're holding inside that can really manifest in your body, diabetes and cancer and headaches and migraines and ulcers and hemorrhoids and all types of things. So getting in a position, a co-created, structured therapeutic space where you can open yourself up to be healed and to kind of rejuvenate and to provide oxygen and lung, not only to your mind, but also to your physical organs too.
That's so good. See, y'all, this is what I'm saying. Like, there's a whole like mental health perspective that, you know, we don't get to hear all the time. So again, if you're just tuning in, we're going over the 7 stigmas of why people tend not to invest into mental health. And we have the lovely Miss Alanah Dillard here to help with us kind of explain, you know, why some of these are like kind of like myths, if you will, you know, so kind of get us in the idea of being comfortable with the fact that, you know, mental health is not a bad thing. Okay. So we're on number 2. Thank you for that, Alanah. That was so good. So number 2, something that we may hear a lot is I'm fine, or I'm good as a response to not deal with what is on a deeper level. So again, like not dealing with the root of what's really going on. That's what comes to my mind, but I would love to hear your perspective on that, Alanah.
Absolutely. Sometimes, honestly, it's easier to just yield to the status quo. Yeah, sis, I'm good. Nah, bruh, I'm good. Like, it's all good. Okay, see you later. You know, kind of that brief 30-second, hey, how you doing? And really like taking the time, one, to be vulnerable, to open up and to share with somebody that you're not good and you're not fine. That takes a lot of energy and you know, support and vulnerability. But also, if you were to receive that from someone else, would you, if somebody said, no, I'm not actually that good, would you as a recipient of that comment then be like, oh, what's going on? Or would you be like, okay, I'll pray for you, you know, or okay, I'll talk to you later. I mean, so really, it's twofold. It's the vulnerability is necessary to be able to open up and say that I'm not doing so well. Hey, can you help me make this phone call? Can you go with me to this appointment? Can you talk to so-and-so with me about the situation? I'm kind of feeling uncomfortable about it. And so it makes sense. But again, it doesn't really, it's a short-term fix. My motto, and you'll hear me say it again, one of my mantras rather, is everywhere you go, you take you with you. So it's you that if you can change your job, you can change your relationship, you can change your financial status, you can change schools, whatever, but everywhere you go, you take yourself. So if you are, you know, neglecting or, neglecting your inner self and your inner workings, your mind, body, soul, and spirit, then you're likely going to keep coming up against the same wall and not know why, unless you kind of take a step back and say, no, there's something else deeper here. And I think I need somebody to help me unpack this. And it's a process, it's a journey, but it's definitely necessary because it will manifest and it can be fatal rather.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, it's so important to speak out. And like you said, it's that vulnerability piece, which actually brings me to number 3 stigma is being seen as weak. You know, stigma of people feeling like if they go to therapy or they go to talk to somebody that they're not a strong person, that they're seen as weak. So what would you say to address that feeling or that thought?
Similar. My pastor once said, and even extension of that, I would add that anything that your God, your creator, your friend, your family, your spouse, your kids, your coworkers, your boss is asking of you, you need to do in this body that you have right now, this one body that we are all given. That's quite a privilege, quite honestly. And so what are you doing with this body? How are you taking care of it? Just like you work out your body when you go to the gym, you get enough sleep, you exercise, you do your self-care regimens. Are you giving that same attention, that same energy to your emotional, socio-emotional, mental health? It's that which drives your behavior to do other things and to make changes in other areas. If your mind is right, if your mind is clear, if your mind is not anxious, not depressed, not perpetuating and thinking about things of the past and things that can harm you or things that have harmed you, and really addressing those things. So it's understandable of where the psychoanalysis, kind of where psychotherapy has come from, and the idea of being weak or even being crazy. I know that's another question we're going to talk about today, or myth, but it's necessary that we take the time to say, it's not about you, it's not about them, it's about you. And what do you need? And if you need extra help, then you need extra help. And there's nothing weak about that. That's actually very courageous and very bold of you to say, you know, I need some extra, I need some support. And having people in your life that are going to root you on and champion for you. Yeah, sis, you're right. I've been seeing that too. Do you need anything from me? Hey, how did your therapy session go? Hey, did you say you're hooking up with your old mentor and your friend? Oh yeah. You know, following up with people and encouraging them to do what's right for them.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that. And I see in the comments too, hey, Sarah, Sarah said so many times we say I'm fine because we don't have the words in our toolkit to pull from. And it's learning words beyond the basics, like, oh, I'm just mad or I'm okay. Like, that's a good point, Sarah. That's a really good point that you're making. And I see Renata in the comments. Hey, Renata. So yeah, for tuning in. We're loving it. So let's just keep going.
Thanks.
Stigma that we, I think I can probably loop both of these together actually, but
sure.
And 5. So number 4 being that it won't work, and number 5 being not wanting to deal with past trauma. So can you speak to those two, that it won't work and not wanting to deal with past trauma?
Sure. Timing is everything. Timing is important. So one of the things we say in therapy is try the same intervention at a different time and see a different result. We talk about insanity. Insanity is doing the same thing, expecting a different result. But a lot of times it's about timing. You can do the same thing, and you tried this exercise, you tried this meal plan 6 months ago, and it didn't work then. So we kind of have the assumption it's not going to work now. But in fact, you know, time is an interesting thing because it doesn't always change perspective. Excuse me. Time doesn't always heal wounds, but it changes perspectives. Time doesn't always heal wounds, but it changes perspectives.
That's good.
Longer time will allow you to absorb different things about the circumstance and kind of come to a place of solace or a place of serenity about the situation that was once a wound. So it's necessary to do an ongoing journey. That's why it's a journey. It's a marathon and not a sprint. You have to continue to revisit things to really clean it out, because different milestones and different things in your life will re-trigger that thing that you thought you got over. And it's okay to say, let me revisit that. There's some residue here. Let me clean that out. So timing is necessary. It may not have worked then, but it can work now. With different therapists, a different model. You know, there's other like structural things you can do around therapy if it didn't work, and what didn't work means. You know, we can look at it differently to try to find some different resolve. And then the second piece of that question you talked about was not wanting to deal with past trauma. I mentioned it earlier. Everywhere you go, you take you with you. So you can go to a different job, you can move counties, you can move states, you can change relationships, you can, do this or do that. But at the end of the day, you are still with yourself. And so you'll, again, keep coming up against similar walls and similar kind of stuck points and being stuck if you're not able to take the time and really give yourself compassion, love, grace, patience with yourself to
Yes.
review and to reflect and to go back to a time in your life or season, even currently, that is uncomfortable and distressful. And so therapy provides that safety and security to do it in a well-paced way, not getting there quickly, because that won't be sustainable. It's actually a long process, and it's a journey. So again, be graceful and patient with yourself, and loving and kind.
I love that. I love that. This is awesome. I just want to make sure, since we get to all of them, I'm going to loop the last two together too.
Perfect.
So number 6 is other people's perception and not wanting to be labeled as quote unquote crazy. And then number 7 is the whole move on versus moving forward mentality. So the idea that mental health isn't that serious, so people should just quote unquote get over it. So I kind of think that both of those kind of tie in together as well, with thinking being labeled as crazy, and for people to be like, oh, just go get over it, move on, and all of that. So would you like to speak to those last 2 stigmas?
Sure. I'll give you one of my favorite examples is a child's mobile, the things that hang over cribs, right? So what happens when it's a rhetorical question, so I'm answering it myself, but what happens when you hit one side of the mobile? Typically the other sides move, right?
Yep,
so if you choose to do something different from your family culture, from your typical way of handling issues, from what your friends do, what your coworkers do, or what your family does, then ultimately the whole system will be disrupted because you've chosen to make a different approach, or you've chosen to do something different. So kind of, oops. Sorry about that. Marianne Williamson, right? Our deepest fear. Her quote says, "And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we're liberated from our fear, our presence automatically liberates others." So when you choose you to be first, then you unconsciously allow other people to have an opportunity, whether they take it or not. That's not the question. It's to have an opportunity to do something different, for them to say, this rubs me the wrong way. Why does it? Why am I triggered when my partner decides to go back to school? Why is it, do I feel abandoned because now they're pursuing their dreams and my attention's not going to be on me? I mean, what is the trigger there? So kind of addressing that question of being crazy, being weak, being perceived a certain way. When you do what's right for you, when you stay your lane, you're driving a car, right? You have your friends in another car. They get off on exit 15. Your exit is 20. That's cool that they got off on exit 15, but you're focused on exit 20. So staying your course, staying your lane, not looking to the left or looking to the right and saying, this is what I need for me, for my own health, for my mental wellness, for my mental sanity and security and comfort and love, to stay your course, stay focused, and automatically and ultimately, inevitably, other people will see that radiance and that lightness when you become less heavy of the things that have burdened your heart and your soul. And people will be curious, people will be drawn into what's different about you. And then you can start, encouraging other people to liberate and find healing in their own selves, in their own ways.
I love that. Thank you so much, Alanah, for your time. We really appreciate all the nuggets. I see a lot of hearts in the live going on right now, so I know feeling what you're saying. Did you have any final words before we let you go?
Just a little shout out to Ashley McGirt. She is the founder of Washington Therapy Fund. So if you're looking for a therapist in Washington, WA Therapy Fund, go ahead and Google it. You can find a therapist there, as well as multicultural counselors. And then at my third point, so Washington Therapy Fund, multicultural counselors if you're looking for a therapist. And then thirdly is do your research. Every therapist is not going to be the fit for you. Your friend's therapist, your partner, your dad, your sister's therapist may not be the best for you. So do your research, ask questions, because it's a very intimate and important relationship between a therapist and their client, and you want that match to be well. So do your research, take your time, grace, love, kindness to yourself, and absolutely reach out. My contact information is there, Alanah and Dillard at Yahoo, and I'll be happy to provide any support to anyone who contacts QueenCare for more information about how to really walk this journey towards recovery and mental wellness.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Alanah. And I'm going to definitely make sure we put your information in the comments and everything like that. And then also, I'm going to make sure I get that information you just shared about the different therapy options and stuff like that. I want to make sure people can refer to that if they so choose. So I definitely appreciate your time. We thank you so much. So appreciate you. And yes.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
We'll have to have you again.
Yes, this is a great conversation. Thank you all for continuing to bring it to the forefront and keep it in our forefront, in our mind right now, particularly because of COVID and the things impacting our emotional health. So take care, blessings, and I will see you later. Thank you all for joining us.
Bye. Oh, that was so good. That happened so quick. We're transitioning. Thank you guys for staying with us so much. We're going into our youth spotlight, and she's right here. So we have the Miss Kezia Cook. If you guys haven't been following us, we usually have like a youth spotlight that we've been showing, but we've been trying this new thing where we actually bring our young people online with us so they can tell us themselves about what they're doing. Okay, so Kezia, hey Kezia, say hi to the people.
Oh, Facebook.
Yes, you're gonna be on Facebook, IG, and YouTube. You're gonna be famous. I love it. Well, yeah. So Kezia, if you could just introduce yourself, and if you could just kind of tell us, like, some things about how you got involved with us, and all that good stuff.
So my name is Kezia Cook. I am a sophomore at Alanah University. I graduated from Cleveland High School, which is where I first met the whole Young Queens group. And
wait, what's that music?
Is that coming from me?
Yeah.
Can you hear?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, yeah, start over.
Okay, my bad. I didn't know I had another tab open. My name is Kezia Cook. I go to Alanah University. I am a sophomore, and I came from Cleveland High School, which is where I first learned about Young Queens, and where I first met Miss Monica. And she welcomed me into the group. We did cool activities, projects about self-care and building sisterhood between the other girls in the group. And she invited me to go on the Black College Tour. And I was confused because I didn't even know that there were Black colleges. And from there, I got to see Fisk. It was amazing. I got to see Fisk, Clark, Spelman, Morehouse. I got to go with amazing people who I still talk to this day and meet new people while I was on the trip. And I found my dream school. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, so now I'm at that dream school. And
I'll say, what's your dream school? Tell us more.
Atlanta.
Atlanta University.
Atlanta University. At first I was a bit iffy because I was just like, what was the purpose of an all-Black college? Like, what historically Black college? And you get there and the energy and the atmosphere is just super refreshing, especially being from Seattle, because of course the Black community is small. So it was cool to see like a whole new different type of energy and vibe. Like, where I felt natural, like it was natural wearing my natural hair. Like I didn't have to do it. Like I could just I could experiment with that. Like the fashion down there was different. Like I got to meet people from Black people from all over. And that's how, like people would be like, Black community is not diverse. And I was like, because you got the East Coast compared to the West Coast, and then you got and the up north, and yeah, it was just really cool seeing all that and just seeing how the different what people listen to and how they talked and the way they dress. So yeah, and the school itself is just amazing. Like just to know that you're walking on history. Like every brick has like a story, and it's like, oh, that building, that's where MLK spoke. Yep. Or, right across the literal movement, the street movement. Like that's where students protested during Jim Crow, and so that was just that was really cool. So it makes the learning experience that much better because you're like, my ancestors, like, they built this from the ground up, and like we're still here and still running things. So that was
I love that. That's so good. I'm so proud of you. Did you have like any other things that you wanted to share with everybody? Like anything that you've been up to?
What I've been up to, literally, it was like the start of my second semester where we had to go back home. But I was starting this mentorship program back down there. We didn't even get to start it off though, because like I said, once February hit, everybody had to go home. Miss Rona, yeah. But I was selected to be a part of the National Honors and Leadership Society, so that was really cool. So I'm a part of that.
Congratulations!
And, thank you. Yeah. So yeah, it's been a pretty good year having it being cut short like it was, but
yeah, that's hard, but it's only going to make you stronger, that you be able to roll with the punches, but you still got to experience a good chunk of your years. So so that's so good. But well, on behalf of Monica, myself, and Life Enrichment Group, like, we're so proud of you for all the things that you're doing, and we're just rooting for you, and always, if you need anything, we're here for you. Like, so it's like, so you always reach out to us. But we're just so proud of you and everything like that, y'all. She, like I said, she's at Clark Atlanta and she's doing her thing, and so we're just really excited for her, and all the big things are gonna happen from this young lady right here, because she's super smart. What's your major now? Did you say your major?
Oh, cybersecurity. Yeah, I forgot. So
yes, we need to know your major. That's important.
Women in STEM. Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
women in STEM, Black women in STEM.
Yes, for sure.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kazia, for coming on here and joining us. I'm gonna let you go, but I really appreciate you for coming and joining me.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me, Miss Taji.
Of course.
All right.
I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Bye. Awesome. Well, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in on the show. I hope that you had some great nuggets from Alanah, Miss Alanah today, our mental health therapist representative. Definitely there's some good nuggets. So if you didn't get to catch the full episode, we will be posting this on Facebook, on our Instagram page, and on our YouTube page. So you can go ahead and rewatch it. And then shout out to Miss Kazia Cook, who was just on here with me, one of our Black College Tour alumni. So proud of her, and so proud of all the other young people who have been on the show, and then even the ones who haven't been on the show. We're just proud of them all. So so thank you guys for tuning in. Definitely, it was important to invest into your mental health, whatever that looks like for you. As we've learned about, it's so important to, if you need help, ask for it. If you need to talk to someone, make sure you get that trusted person, whether that's a therapist or a trusted friend, or whoever that's in your circle, in your corner. But definitely don't want to do this alone and keep those things bottled in. So let's take care of one another. Have a great night, everybody. And until next Wednesday, see you soon.